are, you've never had a job, you don't have a resume, you've never interviewed for anything, and you aren't sure where to start.
So most jobs require a resume. If you don't have work experience, I would recommend you highlight some of the community service, some of the volunteer work that you've been doing. And if you haven't been doing that yet and you're still young, I would strongly encourage you to do that. It's a strong indicator to any future employer, whether you've had a paid job or not, that you are energized, you're willing to work hard, and you have motivation.
Look at your life and look at your experiences, and then pick some of the things that have happened to you throughout your life and how those could possibly apply to the position that you have researched and you know you could be a fit for when you come in with that employer.
They don't necessarily have to have the skills that I need eventually. They need to have the attitude and the confidence in themselves that they can learn that they're willing to do that. They have the energy that I'm looking for someone that's going to come in and knock it out of the park.
So you may feel intimidated going into an interview, whether it's your first interview or maybe it's one of several that you've been on, but you feel intimidated, because that's a pretty normal feeling when you're in an interview situation.
My advice for how you approach an interview is to think of it as a conversation. At the end of the day, I'm going to be interested whether or not you're a good fit for my organization. And you need to be looking at that interview as a conversation about whether you think this organization is a good fit for you. So as you think about coming in for the interview, you obviously need to be there on time. You need to present yourself well. You need to have done some research about the organization. Just like the organization is going to maybe be looking at what you've done on the web, you need to look at what the organization is all about. You need to be asking some really good questions about what that organization is doing and how you fit into that organization. You may think you really want to work with this organization, but what do you know about its internal culture? What do you know how it manages people, what benefits it offers, and how other people like working there or don't like working there?
So remember, when you get that interview and you're walking in there for the first time and you're getting ready to meet these people, that you do want to show your confidence, and it's okay to show your confidence, and it's okay to maybe be a little extra confident than you would be in your normal life when you're hanging out with your friends or sitting with your family or any of those sorts of things.
When I look back when I first started out in my career, I was really shy, an introvert to a large degree, and it was really hard for me to walk into an interview and exude confidence. And what I can tell you is, if you do the research about the job that you want, if you understand the organization and you understand your skills, you can put aside your concern about those things, and then you spend all your energy in that interview exuding the confidence. It's the one time where you can toot your own horn, you can say, I am worthy, I've got value, and you want me in your organization.
Remember the fact that while you need to do research on the employer may have done some research on you, which could mean looking at your social media.
We'll look at Facebook and we'll just do a Google search. And what we're looking for really is, first, any red flags, things that are really off the reservation, hate speech, discriminatory comments, things like that. Why did you say these types of things in relation to this public conversation that was happening on the web? Not to say that they were wrong or they were right, but as a way of getting to know the individual, understanding what their values are and how they fit into our organization.
Negative speech, that's not going to look good, because when you go into work, you're most likely not going to be by yourself in an office, so you have to learn to get along with the other personalities that are with you. And that's something that a potential employer would be looking at on social media. So keep that in mind.
So social media doesn't just show us any negatives about a potential applicant. They show us lots of positive things as well. If they're involved in community service, if they're involved in a faith-based organization, if they've published some information out of their high school transcripts, whether they're working on a community project for their high school, sports teams, any of those types of things, they create some conversation starters for us with the applicant, and they show us a little bit of who that person is.
So even though you don't have formal job training, look at your life and look at your experiences, and then pick some of the things that have happened to you throughout your life and how those could possibly apply to the position that you have researched and you know you could be a fit for when you come in with that employer. And you can think about some of the things, maybe situations even with friends or family members or things like that you can use as examples as how you could apply that that learned experience and knowledge that you gained, even though it wasn't on a job site, that it was something that helped you move forward through your life, and you could bring that to the employer.
At the end of the day, interviews are nerve-wracking. But if you do your homework and you walk in with understanding that you bring value to that organization, that you have skills that they can't get anywhere else, and you have the confidence to say that to those people, you're going to do amazing.
Try to remember that if you do go into an interview situation and maybe it doesn't go the way you thought it was going to, that 5 years from now you're going to look back, because your life is going to be in a different place, and you're going to know that it was nothing more than a learning experience, and it just brought you along into what maybe would be a better job. So use every interview that you have the opportunity to participate in to a way to just grow as an individual and get you into that job that feels like a great place for you to be. Good luck.